Hey, what is up guys, I'm in video, and today I'm going to talk about can the San Antonio Spurs make the NBA Finals, or will they make the NBA Finals? Because this year it has been kind of a weird year for the San Antonio Spurs. Like, Kawhi Leonard got hurt in the preseason, he was supposed to be able to come back really quick, he comes back for 9 games, then he gets out for those games, and he was reported not being in for the season, but now he's going to be reported trying to come back late March. It's weird, it's really weird, the injury, no one really knows what's going on with him. He might not even come back this season, he might come in late March, I don't know what to know anymore. Yeah, like, y'all can think for yourself on that. But yeah, so even with all this drama I'm going to be getting in, can the Spurs still make the NBA Finals? I'm going to get into all of that. But before I do, if you do like the video at any point, hit the like button. If you really like it, hit the subscribe button. So without further ado, without me rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to get into is what they are right now. As of right now, they are currently ranked the 6th in the Western Conference with a 36-26 record. But right now, they are only 1.5 games out of the 3rd seed, but also they're only 4.5 games out of the 8th seed. So the West is very, very close right now, except for the top 2 teams. Like, it's kind of a throw up to wherever you get. But like, they're also doing all this without Kawhi. So I mean, if he comes back late March, I'm sure they will get the 3rd seed or the 4th seed back, and I'm sure they will start playing hard again and probably make a deep playoff run. But now let's get into how they could actually make the finals. All right, so their defense is outstanding right now, even without the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and MVP candidate in Kawhi Leonard. Their defense is still ranked number 1 in the entire league, as they only give up 98 points per game. If you can keep up that defensive intensity while not having your best defensive player on the court, while you're pretty old, that is a very good team, and I think that really has to get credited to Greg Popovich, and that's a huge reason that they're even still being competitive right now. I mean, besides LaMarcus Aldridge's huge season, their defense is pretty much the biggest reason they're so competitive, as their offense just isn't all that good. But also, the second reason is that their chemistry / experience is so high. Like, I mean, this team is currently the 2nd oldest in the entire NBA. Their average teammate age, or the average like player on their team's age, is 28 years old. That is the 2nd oldest in the NBA right now. And I mean, with all that age, it comes tons of playoff experience. And I mean, even some of their players, I mean, Manu Ginobili, Aldridge, and Kawhi isn't old, but I mean, Kawhi and then Gasol, they all have playoff experience. And I mean, Parker, Ginobili, Kawhi, and Gasol, they have NBA Finals experience. I mean, these dudes are playing, like, these dudes know what to do. They know how to play in the spotlight. They know how to play in the playoffs. They know the grit and grind, and they know how to step it up. So with all this age, it comes great experience. And I mean, obviously, their chemistry is also there. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Gasol, Parker, Ginobili, pretty much their entire core of players, they've been together for multiple years. They know how to play very well together. So at least when he does come back late March, he's not going to be as good as we've seen him, because he's going to have to get back into the swing of things. But at least his comeback process will be much easier, as he doesn't really have to learn how to play with his players. As I mean, he's played with them for so many years. Those same core group guys, he's been playing with them for a long, long time. And like I said earlier, I mean, this is my 3rd reason that they could make it. Like I said earlier, their offense is almost terrible. They're ranked 27th in offense. But I mean, they're without a 20-point per game scorer in Kawhi. So if you get Kawhi back, that's 20 points per game, like almost guaranteed. But he can also grab you 4 more rebounds. He averages 1 offensive rebound, so that's another possession. Then he gets 5 rebounds a game. Then he can get you a steal. That's a fast break score. And then he can probably dish out 3 or 4 assists a game. So I mean, if you're just getting him back on the court, your offense is they're probably gonna be a middle of the pack offensive team once he comes back. And I think that would be huge, because if you can have the number 1 ranked defense, I mean, then you plug in a great offensive player and defensive player, just an all-around great player, then I mean, that team will be very, very scary to meet in the playoffs. Assuming Kawhi Leonard plays the same way like he did before the injury. I mean, I'm assuming the injury didn't just derail his career and he didn't pull a Derrick Rose on us. Please don't let him pull a Derrick Rose on us. But, I mean, so those are all the reasons I think they could make the finals, but now I'm going to get into why I think they won't make it, or why they can't make it. Because, alright, so when he comes back, he will probably still be good, but it's going to take a while to get back into, like, everything, like, all the plays and all that. I mean, I'm sure the plays aren't completely, like, the same as last year, so he's going to have to get in. I mean, even some of the new guys, Devontae Murray is starting now instead of Tony Parker. He's going to have to get used to that. LaMarcus Aldridge has been having such a great season, having to get used to, like, kind of giving LaMarcus Aldridge a few more touches and, like, kind of not just trying to dominate the entire game. I mean, and he's also just going to have to get physically better. I mean, sitting out an entire NBA season, he's not going to be as physically, like, built as he would be if he would have played the entire season, so he's going to have to get back in shape a little bit. So there's a lot of things that you have to get back into the swing of things. I think it'll be quicker than what most people would have, because I mean his chemistry and all that, but I think it'll probably take 2 or 3 games to get back to his normal self. But I mean, just think, if he comes back when it's playoff time and in a series, if he takes 2 or 3 games to get going again and they lose those 2 or 3 games, well, it's too late. You're already lost the series pretty much. I mean, so they need to get him back in before the playoffs start, before the first playoff series. They're going to need to get him back into that. I think if he comes back in the playoffs and he has to get warmed up, it's just not going to end well for them. But then also, yes, that experience, like I said, this is my second reason. So yeah, I said their experience helps them, but it also is going to hurt them. I mean, just look at it. Mine Ginobili is 40, Tony Parker's 35, LaMarcus Aldridge is 32, Paul Gasol, I think he's in his mid-30s. That dude's old too. Kawhi Leonard's by far the best young player on their team. I mean, they are very old. I mean, they're the second oldest team, and with oldness comes less stamina. So if you put them in back-to-back 7-game series, maybe not their first round, they might have if they have a challenging first round, like a 6-game series or a 5-game series, then against Golden State, they go into a 7-game series, and they somehow beat Golden State, then they have to go to the conference finals. It'll probably be another 7-game series. So with how old they are, I just don't think those legs, I don't think they'll be physically able, all those veterans like Manu and Tawny, without getting injured. They're probably bound to get injured or something with that much playing, because I doubt they'll be able to sweep anybody besides the first round, and he might not even be able to sweep the first round teams. You never know. If they get matched up with a team like New Orleans Pelicans, where they're extremely physical, they might not be the best team, but I mean, they're so physical down low. LaMarcus Aldridge is going to be taking a beating. Paul Gasol is going to be taking a beating, and he's old. I mean, you just can't you can't go late in series. So I mean, if they do get long stretch in a series, I don't think they'll be able to keep up the momentum. Yes, Pop is a great coach. He can give minutes, but I just, Father Time is undefeated, all right? There's no way that a 40-year-old and a 35-year-old off the bench will be able to keep up with that kind of playing. And then Paul Gasol starting with the minutes he gets, LaMarcus Aldridge, I mean, he's not ancient, but he's 32. He's not a spring chicken either. So, I mean, I just don't think they can get a long series. If they don't get a long series, they're good, but if they do, I just can't see them making the finals. But also, my final reason why they can't, they're in the Western Conference. So, y'all might be yeah, but they're in the top of the... No, they're now in the 6th seed, which they're actually... So that means they're actually in the bottom half of the playoffs for the first time in forever. So, I mean, with the loss of the Pelicans, they're actually in the bottom half of the playoffs this year, which is kind of weird. I mean, I'm sure they'll get back up there, but that's crazy. So, I mean, just think, even if they end up making the playoffs, the first round, say they do get matched up like a team to the Pelicans, they just got beat by them tonight. But, I mean, Anthony Davis, he's been proven to be an MVP-like player. That dude is going off. And as a New Orleans Pelicans fan, I might be a little biased to that, but AD is probably the best big man in the league. And the dude is so physical with how he plays, and Drew Holiday's even been playing so physical. Nikola Mirotic has been playing physical. It's crazy. I mean, they're actually a very, very, very physical team, and they just battle all game long, and they keep coming at you. They'd be down by 15, and they'll keep coming at you, and they've been on a little win streak because they've been coming back a lot. So, I mean, that would be a hard fall series, and right there, then you have to go in the second round where you have to play either the number 1 seed at Houston or the number 1 seed at Golden State Warriors. I mean, if you somehow beat them, then you're playing the number 2 seed at Golden State Warriors or the number 2 seed at Houston Rockets. So, I mean, if you'd have to get past Houston, Golden State, and I mean, it's probably a tough first round team if you're gonna stay in the bottom of the playoffs, the bottom the bottom half of the playoffs. They're gonna have to play a decent team. So I mean, they're gonna have a very hard playoffs. And with the West, with how stacked it is, I just don't see them making the finals. So now I'm gonna get into it. Do I think they can make the finals? If it wasn't for the last reason, I would give them a fighting chance. But since it's the last reason, they have Houston, Golden State, OKC. I mean, I just can't see them making that. I mean, there's no way, even if Kawhi comes back, there's no way Kawhi can carry him. Maybe he can beat Golden State or Houston by himself. But there's no way he can, it'll be a 7-game series probably. So there's no way he can have back-to-back 7-game series against the 2 best teams in the league. And I mean, no. And then you have to be guarding Durant, who's extremely hard to guard. And then say you go to Houston, he'll probably end up having to guard James Harden or someone like that. I mean, you're not going to be able to guard that. And then if he somehow makes the finals, then he's guarding LeBron. So his body, I just don't think his body can physically stand up to it. So no, I do not think they can make the finals, because unless Kawhi comes out and becomes LeBron. There's just no way. I don't think it is. But unfortunately, guys, it's gonna be it for this video. So comment below. Did you enjoy this video? Do you think they can make the finals? Do you agree with any points? Do you disagree with me? Comment all of that below. And like I said earlier, if you like the video at any point, hit the like button. If you really like the video, it would mean the world to me. And hit the subscribe button. We're at 145 subscribers. Thank y'all so much. Y'all been smashing that subscribe button. Y'all been showing tons of support. Now, if I wouldn't be here without the real homie OG upstairs, Jesus Christ himself. Thank you so much. I'm blessed to be here. Thank y'all so much. I wouldn't be here without y'all. And kids, don't think about you. Never do your vegetables. Always eat drugs. Stay safe. Receive a goodbye.